So today I had an experience, an encounter, which is a real prime example of why men are going their own way. Um, I was in a relationship. This house I'm actually sitting in is a result, one of the consequences of that relationship where we bought a house together. She decided to leave, not because of me, but because of her nieces and nephews, and go on about her business, and at no fault of her own. I understand clearly why she had to go that route. Anyhow, she basically signed the house over to me. I paid off the mortgage because the mortgage was in her name, and she is now living in a different state. That's the backstory. Well, anyhow, a piece of mail came today. Usually, I'll throw a mail that comes for her in the trash because she hasn't been living here in years. So, but this one seemed important, looked important, so I opened it. I realized it was a bill, so I took a picture of the bill and sent it to her. I said, "Hey, this came in the mail. I thought it might be important." Didn't think anything of it. Got a text later stating that, uh, "Thanks for opening up my mail without my permission." And she was being facetious about it. At least that's how I interpreted it. So I texted her saying that I didn't mean any harm by it, but I thought it was important that you might need it because no, I said I didn't mean any harm by it. You usually don't have mail come to my address. And then she texted me back cursing and saying a whole bunch of stuff that, oh, I could have just put return to sender on it, and but I wanted to see if it was a check in there. I say, well, in with a lot of expletives in there. So I told her, I say, all right, well, the next time I'll address it differently. And then she responded, bet. Bet is such a ghetto approach. A lot of I have even heard that to, not even from I hear it from my younger athletes. When you say, hey, we're going to do this, they bet. But she actually used it, and it's not a term that college educated people use as often, at least in my experience. And she's college educated. But this is why men are going their own way. And I find it funny because, if it was a check, why will you have a check come to my address? More importantly, if it was a check that came to my address, how could I possibly cash a check not written to me? Yes, I had an account with both her names on it. I could have easily deposited such a check. But I canceled that account because I was a primary holder. So I canceled that account years ago. So I don't have that account. So it didn't make any sense for her. Like, she couldn't think that far ahead. I don't know why she was so angry out of nowhere, because I've opened her mail in the past, taken pictures and sent it to her. It just so happened I haven't gotten any mail in a while, and this time one came, so I said, let me open it and send it to her. As far as putting return to sender and sending it back, the post office do not accept that. At least that's what they told me in the past. They just basically said throw it in the trash. So I mean, I guess that's a new method. If I'm wrong about that, put it in the comment section down below about the post office. But I heard that directly from the postmaster. They said, if you get a mail, the person don't live there anymore, don't do return to sender and put it, because it'll come right back to me. Just throw it in the trash. So I am grateful that I have adopted the MGTOW philosophy in not paying this kind of conversation any mind, because had I not, I could have gone off, responded a different way. but I try to minimize it as quickly as possible to eliminate any friction. I have no ill will against her, and I was confused, for it threw me off because I never expected her to respond to me that way. So, I actually thought I had sent the information to the wrong person, or she may have gotten a new phone and somebody else got the phone and was just bullshitting. But I confirmed it with her niece that it is really her. Um, so, that's why men are going their own way. You try to be helpful, and you're called a narcissist, egotistical, you know. And that's just it just seems to be the nature of modern women from my generation, because she's a few months older than me. Um, the current generation, you're seeing a lot of stuff like that, a kind of mindset that has a level of ignorance, or more so a lack of common sense. Um, Completely unnecessary. Maybe she's realizing that I'm doing okay with myself, and I'm not living in misery, but I wouldn't want her to live in misery at all. I hope she has a wonderful life. It's just not with me. So I thought I would share that with you. If you're women and you're looking at that, stop and think before you assume. This is why good men just say, to hell with y'all. They just walk away. They just walk away. It's just so much less stress just not having to deal with women. And especially not having to deal with women with who is short-sighted, short-minded, always thinking some guy is doing something for their benefit. It's me sending the thing isn't. Maybe she thought I was looking for praise. I didn't really give a shit if she praised me. Just, hey, all right, I received it. Thanks, maybe. Even if she didn't say thanks, didn't even have to respond. She just got it. Say okay, whatever it was. You know, didn't give it a second thought after I sent it, like waiting. Is she gonna text me and say thanks? To me it wasn't that serious. So going forward, I'm basically just gonna take anything that comes in the mail, just throw it in the trash. But going forward also, these are one of the reasons why you need, as MGTOW, to separate yourself from women like that. This is why MGTOW is so important, the philosophy of it. If you're not happy within yourself as a man, you're not self-contained, you're not sexually stimulated all the time, where you can be, be more like an addict, where you're chasing vagina or whatever, just that quick fix type stuff. If you could practice celibacy, it's even better. Because you're able to distance yourself from women like this, without feeling any loss. Like you need to fill a void, and then you jump back in another unhealthy relationship. MGTOW is supposed to allow you to even if you haven't developed that level of self-containment, where you don't need a woman to feel complete, or feel more complete. Now is the time in MGTOW. Now that you've been a step away and you feel empty, now is the time to work on spirituality, take on some therapy if you need it. Pick up a trade, a hobby, do something to edify your mind, your spirit, and your body. Work out, go to the gym and lift weights. Volunteer, pass your knowledge on to the next generation so they don't make some of the same mistakes, or they're aware of things, even if they make a conscious mistake, a choice, which wouldn't be a mistake, but it's conscious, then they'll be able to either deal with the consequences or back away from it or minimize the damage that it could cause. So like, subscribe, you'll have a good day.